There's another way to use the barbell, one that gets you into new exercises that are different from your traditional squats and deadlifts and bench presses. And that's to flip the barbell on its side, anchor one end to the ground, and use the barbell as something called a landmine. It's a perfect way to change up your training and a method that's growing in popularity for a variety of reasons. First off, it is just plain fun. Secondly, thanks to several technical differences, it's going to challenge your muscles in new and often friendly ways. The big question with any ultra unique gym tool that isn't a dumbbell or a kettlebell or a barbell is always this: can I get more than one exercise out of it? The more you're around unique fitness tools, the more you realize that most are pretty good at exactly one thing. And especially if you're training at home, that becomes a huge problem. But that's the best part of this piece of equipment. You can actually get a solid full body workout out of just a landmine. And you don't even really need that much equipment to change up your workouts like this either. Yes, you have dedicated landmine tools that you can purchase online, but you can also just take a towel, put it in the corner of a room, and place your barbell in there, and instantly you're ready to go with these. The biggest difference between a landmine and most of your other free weight exercises has to do with something called the force curve. On most of your free weight exercises, especially those bench presses and squats and deadlifts, the weight of your load never actually changes. The barbell you deadlift off the ground is delivering 135 pounds of challenge at the start of the move and 135 pounds of challenge at the end. This is where landmines change the game and can greatly help on a few exercises too. The landmine weighs the most when the load is closer to the ground because the barbell lever gets more of a challenge from gravity. As you lift that weight farther and farther up, it actually gets increasingly lighter because the lever gets shorter. You do get a little bit more of a challenge balancing and stabilizing the load, but overall you're lifting less weight. That lets us get new benefits from the landmine though, and we can still build a nasty full body workout out of it as well. You want 5 moves in our full body workout covering all the basic functions of our body. We want to push so we can hit chest and shoulders. We want to pull so we hit our back and challenge our biceps and grip. We want to hinge for our glutes, and then we want to have a knee dominant move in there so that we attack our quads. We also want a little bit of core in any workout too, and we can do all of that with the landmine. Think about doing each of these moves for 3 to 4 sets and aim for about 8 to 10 reps on each set. We'll start with our lower body moves first, and we're going to open with the landmine deadlift. You'll want to set up in a wide stance for this, and one benefit we'll get from that wide stance is we'll instantly have our hips in external rotation. That means we can get a full glute contraction at the top, and we can focus on that because the weight is lightest at the top. After that, we need a knee dominant move, and we're going to go to the landmine reverse lunge for that. The great thing about this one is that we're getting to load the stretch position of our quads most aggressively, since the landmine's weight is most pronounced at the bottom of the movement. By loading that stretch position, that's the most challenging position for the muscles where we're going to get the most growth for our quads. We can also stand on a bit of elevation here too to drive even more quad stimulus by getting into a bit more knee flexion at the bottom of every single rep. Now we've hit lower body, so now let's attack our upper body with the landmine row. You'll need a little extra equipment for this one, but a V-bar at your gym or even a towel at home that you wrap around the bar will work well. And you'll still get some lower body in this one too. This is a great chance to overload your horizontal pulling muscles, which you want to be strong, and it's okay if you get a little bit of hinge in this motion. It's also a good chance to be powerful and explosive as you row up, and you'll thank us for all that power you're building later. We need a push exercise in here next, and for that we go to one of the best pushing exercises and probably the exercise for which the landmine is most indispensable, the half kneeling overhead press. This one is great in part because many of us struggle to get into good overhead position without arching our backs. Since the landmine gets lighter as we move overhead though, this is extra friendly to those particular shoulder issues. Aim to lean forward just a little bit as you press overhead because you're going to get to squeeze your back muscles, and we're going to get to hone better overhead movement mechanics as we're building strength. And then we finish with a bit of core, and for this we go to the landmine rotation. This is one of my favorite core moves of all time, and it creates a core challenge that we just can't get with dumbbells. At the bottom, the load is heaviest, and it's trying to twist our torso, and we get to resist that. At the top of every single rep here, you want to think vertical plank, and you want to think of keeping your abs tight. Working between those two positions for the entire set, you get a ton of anti-rotation, which is great for your abs, and a ton of anti-extension as well, which is a very underrated thing that we don't train enough with our abs. Once you've hit those 5 moves and you've done 3 to 4 sets, you've got a complete full body workout, and we don't just have to use those moves in a full body workout context either. You can also just add these moves to your regular workouts to mix in landmine training with your standard dumbbell and barbell and kettlebell work. It's gonna make you stronger, and it's gonna keep things fun, and it's gonna help vary up your workouts for the long term.